Hey you guys, let's get into this really quick burrito recipe. So this is basically a steak and queso burrito. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So first off, I'm just gonna put some olive oil inside of a pan. Not too much. I would recommend probably about 2 tablespoons or so. And then I'm gonna throw in a teaspoon of garlic here. Next up, I'm gonna go in with some tomato sauce. If you don't have the actual can of tomato sauce, you can always use tomato paste as well. I give that a quick mix, and while that's simmering up, I just throw in my seasonings here. I just use some sazon, some garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of black pepper and some salt. I mix that around, let that cook off. While I'm doing that, I was washing my rice. I'm using medium grain rice. And after I wash it off, I just pour it in. And I mix up everything to let that simmer down a bit. Making sure that I'm getting all of the rice incorporated into that tomato sauce. And take your time here, guys, because if you move, you're just gonna get tomato paste everywhere. Listen to me, I did it, and I don't want you guys to make that mistake. So once that has simmered down a little bit, you guys know me, I cook all of my rice with chicken stock. If you know, like you're a vegetarian or anything, you can just skip this option and just use water. I just poured in enough chicken stock to where it covered the rice. Basically, I don't really measure once it comes to rice. I literally just pour enough water to cover the rice, and then I'm gonna set that on a medium heat on my stove. This was about 5. Now for my steak, I'm using a ribeye today, and I'm just gonna season that with some steak seasoning. I believe it was the Montreal or something like that. I'm gonna add it in the description. And I also use a taco seasoning mix, and I use this because I really wanted the steak to have like that Taco Bell flavor, because he did say that he wanted like a Taco Bell burrito. So I just rub that in with a little bit of olive oil, and I just leave it sit like that. For my queso, this was some leftover queso that I made from before. It was literally just some butter, some milk, and then I added in cheese to that as well. I can break that down for you if you guys want. Now this was the finished product of my rice. I'm just picking it up and like fluffing it over just to give the rice a little bit of fluff. And then after this, I literally just let it sit with some foil on top, and I just left it alone while I finished everything else. I did the rice first because this usually takes the longest. Now I'm gonna take that steak that we seasoned up. If you put it in the fridge, just give it about 15 minutes to cool off, to come back up to temperature. And then I just slop it down into a hot oil that I had some olive oil inside of the pan. You guys, I could barely talk today. So I let my steaks cook for about 5 to 6 minutes on each side for the first layer, and I just flip that over really nice and gently, and I just press down a bit just to make sure that none of the edges are, you know, like sticking up into the air, so that every side get like that nice layer. Now once the other side is seared, I flip it back over and I add some garlic. I did about 2 cloves. I usually keep the garlic inside of the peel still. I just smash it so that it could break a little bit. And then I added about a tablespoon of compound butter into that. And now I'm just basting up that steak just to keep everything juicy. And then I took it off once it was to the cook that I wanted, which was medium. Now I'm just chopping up half of a purple onion here, a red onion, sorry. I always call it purple. Let me know if you guys do that too. But now I'm just adding that to 1 small avocado that I smashed. I'm just making some guacamole here, and I just squeeze half of a lemon into that. I also added in some parsley, and then I started to season up with some black pepper. I use onion powder, garlic powder, some cayenne pepper because I like my guacamole to be spicy. And I also use a little bit of paprika, and I did use some tahini as well. And just a little bit of salt, not too much on the salt. And you just give that a nice little mix here. In the end, I did end up adding more avocado because I feel like it was more onions than anything else. So now I'm just taking my tomatoes here. I usually use the big tomatoes, but I had these smaller tomatoes in the fridge, so I just decided to use them. And I'm just chopping those up in like some nice little cubes, I guess you can say, like just as small as you can get them, honestly. And this is just for the pico. And after I chop these up, I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of that onion that I chopped from earlier, some more parsley that I chopped, and I'm just gonna add in some lemon, half of a lemon again. And I also added in some olive oil into that, and I did go in with some salt and some black pepper. And I just give that a nice mix, and I'm just gonna place it inside of the fridge. Next, I'm just frying up some of my home fries. I'm going to be posting a home fries video today, so keep an eye out for that. And after my steak has rested, I'm just going to take my knife and just chop it up into some nice cubes. These are my fries here. This was also my nacho fry recipe. I used 1 packet of the Taco Bell seasoning, some paprika, some cayenne powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and I also add in a bit of black pepper as well. And trust me, you guys, it tastes exactly like the nacho fries. I promise you, exactly to the T. Thank me later. And I also added some chili powder onto that as well. Forgot. After that, I just mixed those fries up really well, and I just set them aside, and it was time to start assembling our burrito. So I did about 1.5 scoops of rice to start, just making sure that I'm getting everything to the center. You don't want to overstuff it. I know you guys are going to have the urge to overstuff. That's what I did with the first one, and it couldn't close. I looked like one of the employees from Chipotle, trying to wrap up your burrito when you decide to get extra of everything. So don't do it. And then I added on my steak, and now I'm just topping it with some queso. I was using a measuring cup for this part. I used about 1/4 if you guys wanted to know. I also added on some queso cheese to that. That's literally the name of the brand that I use. And then I went in with a little bit of that pico, followed up with some of that guac. And you guys, this is completely optional. I saw like some other creators do this. You guys can add in some Doritos to this and it will be fire, literally. And then I added on some crema to that. You can always use sour cream if you don't have any crema. They literally taste the same. And now I'm just adding in some pickled jalapenos, because the real jalapenos have like a little bit too much spice for me. And I just topped it off with my fries. Now was the part with me trying to figure out how to fold this up. So I had to turn off the camera because I was making a mess. But this is basically how I did it. But it just took a little bit more elbow grease and a second try. So this was the finished product. And then I just toasted it inside of a pan on each side. And that was it. And I wrapped it up in some wax paper. And here we go. This was the finished product right here. Just cutting it in half. And voila, look at that inside, look at that goodness. This was so good, you guys, and it was so easy to make, and it was 10 times better than going to Taco Bell or Chipotle. No shade, but yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And thank you guys for watching. Comments. Bye.